I love coming to Mexico. The most important reason for loving Mexico so much, first and foremost, is the people. The warmth, the kindness, the openness, and the number one predictor of happiness is relationships. And this is what you have here in Mexico, arguably more than anywhere else in the world. And you're fortunate to have it, and we are fortunate to be experiencing some of it when we come here. And it's not always easy being happy. You know, I got into this whole field of positive psychology, positive leadership, the science of happiness, because of my own unhappiness. I was an undergraduate student at Harvard studying computer science. And I found myself in my second year doing very well academically, doing very well in sports. I played squash, doing quite well socially, and yet being very unhappy. And it didn't make sense to me, because when I looked at my life from the outside, things looked great. You know, I checked the boxes, but from the inside, it didn't feel that way. And I remember waking up one very cold Boston morning, going to my academic advisor and telling her that I'm switching majors. And she said, why? And I said, because I have two questions. First question is, why aren't I happy? Second question, how can I become happier? And it's with these two questions that I then went on to get my undergraduate degree in philosophy and psychology, then across the Atlantic to the other Cambridge to study education, and then back to Harvard for my PhD, all the time focusing on how can I help myself, individuals, couples, families, and organizations increase levels of well-being. Why is happiness, the science of well-being, important for you? Whether it's as leaders in your communities, whether it's as parents, as community members. Why is it important? One reason is because when we increase levels of well-being, even by a little bit, I'm talking about 3-4%, it's not that much. You can actually do that based on what you learned today. 3-4% increase, you become more creative, more innovative. Your employees, if you help them increase their levels of well-being, you'll get better ideas from them. They're more likely to think outside the box. They become more engaged and motivated. Daniel Goleman, who wrote the famous book, Emotional Intelligence, talks about our age as the age of distraction. And that takes away from our effectiveness, not to mention from our happiness. Increased levels of happiness, you become more engaged, more motivated. As a result of that, performance goes up significantly. And we have data showing that a small increase in well-being, students in school become better students, employees in an organization become better employees. Your physical health improves. Longevity goes up significantly with every small increase in levels of well-being. Your immune system strengthens. Your relationships, whether it's your job relationships, teamwork in the organization, or whether it's your romantic relationship or your relationship with your family or friends, significantly improves. The bottom line of all this is that happiness pays. It's a good investment. It's a good investment in yourself. It's a good investment in your team, in your family, in your organization, in your communities. But a lot of things happened over the past 4 years. We had the pandemic, and then there are wars going on around the world, whether it in Ukraine, Middle East, other places are now beginning to become more chaotic, more complex. There's so much uncertainty, economic uncertainty, personal uncertainty. To talk about happiness today, that's more challenging. I would argue that studying happiness, engaging with the science of well-being is more important than ever, especially for you, leaders, managers, entrepreneurs.